guys, welcome back to my video. Thank you again for joining me. In this video, I just want to have a little discussion. This is just going to be me and you talking and sharing some secrets and things like that in beauty secrets. And I have some family secrets. Now, I don't have bad family secrets. I have beauty secrets. Hang on, sippy, sippy. I need to lubricate my throat today. All right. Beauty secrets that were handed down in my family on my mother's side, between my mother, my grandmother, and then on my father's side, a couple of aunts and things like that. Women in our family. And, you know, we are all a tribe. We are all female. We are all, you know, this divine, beautiful being, these goddesses. And as you know, some of the more mature and wiser women in the olden days, even though they didn't have, you know, these laboratory pharmaceuticals and all this crazy, you know, test tube type of, you know, creams and concoctions and things of that nature that we have now, they had the tried and true. And believe me, they were absolutely gorgeous women, and they aged gracefully, even though they didn't have a huge amount of all these different products to try out that might work or might not work. So I'm going to put on my little spectacles here. I've got some notes on the side here, and I'll just refer to it, and then I'll take my spectacles off, you know. All right, the first one that I want to make mention, and there's about like 10 different little beauty tips and secrets. The first thing is chamomile tea, or chamomile, however you want to pronounce it, tea to rinse hair. Now, my grandmother was a big fanatic about this. She used to make a pitcher of, you know, lukewarm water or warm water, and then put in chamomile tea bags, not loose leaves, but the tea bags, and let it steep in there for, oh, I don't know, even like a half an hour or so. I mean, a long time, not just a couple of minutes. It wasn't for drinking purposes. Now, when I took a bath, in those days I was a young girl, so I took a bath, and she would come in and she would do my hair, or she would shampoo my hair. And we're talking, I was like, yeah, 5, 6, 7 years old. She would always rinse my hair. The last rinse that she would do after she rinsed my hair with water and all of that, get all the shampoo out, she would rinse my hair down with this infused chamomile tea water, okay? And it was to put highlights in my hair, to soften my hair, and to make it very silky. And I'm telling you, I had absolutely gorgeous hair as a child growing up. I remember it just had this bounce to it. It had just this golden highlights to it. It's just a natural, safe highlighter that any person can use of any age. It doesn't strip your hair. It doesn't dry out your hair. It's just a beautiful, beautiful, natural shine and healthy vibrancy that your hair is going to have. So that's number one. And this was, you know, obviously I wasn't putting any chemicals on my hair. I wasn't dyeing my hair in those days. I was a little girl. So this was a way to just keep that nice coloring in my hair, that nice blondness and, you know, shine and health. So that was number one. Number two is apple cider vinegar to keep you regular. All right, so this was my mother's thing. She vowed on apple cider vinegar. Now, in those days, I think everything was organic when you bought it. It wasn't like, oh, organic versus not. It wasn't distilled or anything like that. It was definitely, as I can remember, the organic one. And she would basically put about 2 teaspoons into a glass of water, and she would drink that religiously. Now, I tried to do it to the best of my ability. I never got used to the taste. It was just very, very harsh for me. It does take a little bit of getting used to. You can certainly sweeten it with a little honey or, you know, things like that. But yeah, she definitely drank that religiously, and she was never constipated, ever, ever, ever. I mean, she was regular, she was good. I know TMI, but if you really need a little push in that direction, and I think it has to do with the bacteria, your gut bacteria. It really helps a lot with that. It helps to just clean you out and just make you all happy, happy, your little tummy inside. So that was number 2. Number 3 is witch hazel as a toner for pimples. So witch hazel, good old witch hazel, standard 100% organic witch hazel. Always had a bottle in my house. My grandmother used it. As soon as I started popping, my first pimples came out, she ran to the drugstore and got that witch hazel. Same thing for my mother. Religiously kept it on hand. Cotton ball, that was my toner. I did not use any other fancy schmancy toners. That was the toner that I used in my, prepubescent and pubescent times while my skin was erupting and doing weird stuff. This is what I used. So witch hazel definitely didn't dry out my skin. As I remember, I still have some on hand occasionally. I don't really use it that often now. But I remember I did buy one for my son a number of years ago, and he's been using it, so I think it's helped him. But yeah, anything to do with eruptions, pimples, cysts, that kind of thing really, really helps, and it doesn't over dry your skin. It doesn't strip your skin. All right, so that's number 3. Now this is kind of weird. I have my good side and bad side about it. My mother swore up and down about Crisco. Crisco, not the butter one, not the one that's scented, the one that's just the white one. Crisco fat for a moisturizer for your face, for a night moisturizer, especially for your hands and especially for your face in the winter months. It's very, very, very oily, of course. High content of fat in it. It has a lot of enzymes and proteins from fat in there. And supposedly, it was a good moisturizer. I would caution you on doing this because it does clog the pores. I think it's not that great to me, I don't think it's that great as a moisturizer, but in a pinch, if you have to have a moisturizer or you have to, grab something because your hands are just chaffed or your face, a little bit goes a long way, and using it occasionally is not going to harm you. So just to let you know that. Okay, rose water for spraying the face. Of course, I talk about that constantly. Both my mother and my grandmother and my aunts were all into rose water, spraying your face with rose water, using it as a hydration, as a moisturizer, spraying your face first and then locking it in with your night moisturizer or your day moisturizer. Locking it in with your day moisturizer, spraying your face, and then having that hydration and that lovely rose smell. I mean, it was just phenomenal. I always have it around. I always will have rose water as a toner or as a spray for me. That's just a given. Okay. Moving on is taking naps. So, we have a hectic lifestyle. We're working, we're running around, we're doing chores, errands, taking care of our children, all of that. But she really believed in the power nap. She believed in a beauty power nap. It was a staple in our household. Now, she did not have a job outside of the home, and neither did my grandmother. She worked inside of the home. But, come that 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon before the men came home from their work environment, from outdoors, when she got through all of her household cleaning and cooking and things that she had to do. I remember as a child, both my grandmother and my mother taking a half an hour to 45-minute power nap. They would close down the windows, they would make things dark, and it was a siesta. It was literally a siesta. Europeans are known for that, and things just stopped. Things just absolutely stopped. Lights were off. There was no music, no TV, no nothing. You went to bed. You put on, a comfortable, like a sweatpants or just a comfortable clothing. If she had on a dress or anything else, she would, loosen the zippers or the backs or this and that. And she would just basically lie down on the bed or worst case scenario, a sofa downstairs and take a power nap. She woke up vigorous, she woke up energized, and her skin was radiant after it. I know we can't all take the time to do that, but I just wanted to mention it, that if you can, if there's a possibility and you can incorporate that into your lifestyle, I would strongly urge you to do that, because it's just on all levels, just oxygenating your body, your skin, everything. It's really good thing. Okay, hang on. I have to keep sipping to be able to talk. All right, we got the naps. All right, sugar and olive oil scrub for facials. You've heard me mention that we used to make our own. Just take, granulated sugar, brown sugar preferably, some honey, some oils if you want, anything like that, like vitamin E oil or a little bit of olive oil or almond oil or, jojoba, anything like that. Put it into the mixture, mix it around, and then use it as a facial scrub. It is fabulous, wonderful. My family has been doing that for 50, 60, 70 years, if not more. They're now coming out with these fabulous jars, that are extravagantly costing, money, and, with all these scents and everything. I mean, really nice. Okay, fine. But we've been doing it for decades and decades in our family, and came all the way from, Europe. You could do your face or you could do your body. We had sugar body scrubs. We made our own. At least I have done it in the past, and my mom has done it. My grandmother has done it. All my aunts have done it, cousins, whoever. It's just a wonderful do-it-yourself. It's so simple to do, and you just keep it on hand and scrub away, especially in the winter months when you need a little exfoliation. You need those dead skins to come off easily. That's the way to do it. And then the oils within that scrub nourish and get into your skin and hydrate at a wonderful level. So it's definitely wonderful. All right, so got that. Egg whites and honey for masking. My grandmother used to do this all the time. I'd hear her pounding the bowl because she would crack an egg. She would take the egg whites, she would beat it up just like you do to make, the stiff peaks. Not that stiff, but, pretty poofy. And then she would ever so gently put in a couple of teaspoons of honey, just fold it in there, and then again put it on her face with either a little brush or just with her hand and lie back. She would usually put like a washcloth or a towel right around here so it wouldn't dribble down her her décolleté or anything like that if she leaned back and took that 10-15 minutes. Let that sink in. Oh my gosh, egg whites tighten your skin, tighten your pores, just take out all the junk. The honey hydrates, moisturizes. It's got all nourishing benefits and B vitamins and all of that to get into your skin. Egg has vitamin E to get into your skin. It's just a whole bunch of, it's like a wonderful vitamin cocktail for your skin. You just, when you rinse it off, you look, I'm serious, you look 10 years younger, seriously. Try it out before you go to an event or anything. Forget about the sheet mask, forget about all this other stuff. Do the egg whites and the honey, and I guarantee you're going to look like $1,000,000. I guarantee it. Okay. It's messy though, so, just to let you know that. All right, the next one up is after dinner walks for digestion. Now, this was definitely an Italian thing. It's a promenade. They call it a promenade, and it's a big European thing. If you have a meal, and usually their dinners were a later night event. I know here we have a difference between supper and dinner. I always tell people there's a difference between supper and dinner. Supper, I believe, is is the earlier version. I think it's around 5:30 to 6 p.m. Supper was for workers that came home from factories or whatever in those days, and they started very early in the morning, and they started to work very early in the morning, whether they were working outdoors or whether you were in a factory. You usually, as a worker bee, started pretty early in the morning, before sunup, and so you were hungrier earlier during the day. It's like your body was on a different schedule than the upper class echelons that did not work in those days. The people that did not work usually had an afternoon tea because they had time to. Usually a 4 o'clock, 3:30, 4 o'clock tea. Now we're talking about Europeans with the little scones and the little cookies and everything. That's how high tea came about. And then that would suppress your appetite enough to go along till dinner. Dinner was around 8, 8:30, sometimes even 9 o'clock, depending on the event and how many people were invited over for formal dinner events. So, if you ever see Downton Abbey, for example, they have dinner. They dress up. They're very formal. They wear tuxedos. They wear beautiful evening gowns as women, and they go downstairs and go into the formal dining room. And it's usually around, cocktails are usually around 7:30, 7:30, schmoozing, socializing, and then they walk into the dining room very elegantly and have a long drawn out dinner that lasts till probably 9. Okay. Now, getting back to the walking part, in Europe, after you had your either supper or dinner. It didn't matter for me. The way I saw it, every time you ate the night meal, you would do this. People would walk around at night. When I spent some time in Europe and Italy, especially, and in France and Germany, people walked around at night. After dinner, they would walk around. They would go out and they would do a promenade. It was called promenading, and they would socialize, and it was a big thing there. People just were milling about for a good hour or half an hour after their nightly meal. And it helps digestion, it helps energize you, and breathe in the fresh air at night. And it's just it was a really nice thing, and I think it was a very healthy thing to do. Then what most of us do now is sit down, eat, and pass out, in front of the TV. I mean, that's like the way to do things, I'm guilty of it. I come home, I am absolutely exhausted at night, and I go ahead and eat, and then, get into my PJs and go upstairs, watch a little YouTube or something, and then that's it for the night. I'm done. I'm not walking anywhere. Know how that goes, guys. You just, you can only do so much. All right, so moving on from that, let's see, after dinner walks, lemon juice for lightening the elbows. So this was a mother thing. My mother usually did that. It has a lot of ascorbic acid in it, a lot of vitamin C in it, and it has lightening properties where you just, you put it on your elbows, you do your scrub, you do your cleansers, and then you put it on your elbows, and it's supposed to keep it from, getting dark or crusting over or anything like that. These are my elbows. I know I've been putting my elbows down right now, but they are certainly not dark or black or anything like that. They're just, I could use a little cream on them actually, but they're pretty good shape. I don't do as much of that as I should. I do put cream on my elbows. You can get some, I think there's some creams that have lightening properties in it, like AHAs. You could use that instead of lemon juice. I'm sure there's a lot of good creams out there that you can use, but definitely put cream on your elbows and and lighten them. All right, number 10 is always doing a night cream. I can't remember a time, and I never remembered my mother or my grandmother being so tired or so worn out that they did not, and this is the way I do it too, they did not have at least one night cream on their nightstand. And as they went to bed, as they were, getting ready for the night, they were already in bed. And I remember a couple of times I would be in bed with my mom, especially during traveling when I was a very young girl. And we would share, like a double bed or a queen size, for hotels or whatever. And I could hear her, well, I could feel it because the mattress would shake. She would be doing these, exercises for her neck and pounding away on her neck and putting the creams on and boom, 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 boom. And the whole bed would be like bouncing up and down. And I'd be like, are you done yet, Mom? Are you done? Please, I need to go to sleep. And she goes, in a minute, I'm just massaging my face. I got to get the moisturizer on my face. every night she would do a night cream, and she would do a mini little massage as best she could in, as she was winding down for the night. And I don't get that vigorous at night to do that, but I do certainly put on my night creams religiously. I will not fall asleep without some sort of night creams. Of course, now I use the retin-A or the retinol oils, and I jazz up. I use other things. I'll use some serums. I'll use like the Buffet from the Ordinary, just different things. But there's always going to be something on my face at night. There's always going to be something on my face at night. So that's definitely. So I think I got through all of that. I had like 10 or 11, I think. I had like 11 things that I wanted to talk to you guys about. And I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you found it beneficial. Please give it a thumbs up if you can, and go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I talk about a lot of skincare, old world as well as modern things. Things that I discover. I always say I'm everybody's guinea pig. I'm the one that tries everything and buys it within reason. I mean, I'm not going to go out there and on my budget. I can't be buying $200-300 gizmos and trying it out because there's no way to give it back or return it or anything like that. And I don't like that. Like if some people buy it just to try it and just to review it on YouTube, and then send it back or return it. I don't find that ethically honest. Honestly, that you're just buying something so that you can talk about it and then return it the next day. It's like how people buy like a formal dress or something because they have a party to go to, and then they don't take the tags off, they just tuck it in, and then the next day or two they bring back the dress. That's not me. Sorry, can't do that. That's not me. But I'll try my best to get as much stuff as I can with my own little money, unless it's sent to me by a company to try, which I'll always disclose and tell you guys if I've been sent something to try. And I do enjoy trying new things. I really do. I love trying new things, and again, just trying everything and then reporting back to you guys on what it is. So I do health a little bit, but mostly skincare and some makeup, and just keep it loosey goosey around here. I love you guys, and go out there, do something wonderful to someone, and be a blessing to somebody, and do a good deed, and be a joy. Don't be a Debbie Downer. Be joyful in your life, and I have to laugh. I have to tell you this really quick. I saw a video. It's probably on YouTube. Two guys attempting to punch it out. They were pretty lame about it, but it was in New York, and it was one of these road rage ones, and people were honking their horns, and two guys came punching and swinging at each other. Don't know the circumstances. And then actually a rabbi from another car came out and tried to, pull them apart and tried to stop them and everything. And I was just looking at that aghast, just absolutely aghast. For so many reasons, I was like so disappointed in humanity, let's just say, to see that. I mean, grown men acting like that. There are people all around. There are children witnessing this. What does that say about, our society and everything? I mean, what could possibly tick you off so much that you want to kill somebody because of, being 2 seconds late, or being behind a car instead of in front of a car? You're going to get to the same place. I always say that there's always a reason if you're being late or something's happening where, traffic's slowed down or anything. I always say there's a reason for it. Maybe it's God's way for you to avoid a horrible accident or some horrible event that's going on, and by you being just 3 minutes late or 5 minutes late, you're going to avoid a catastrophe of some sort. So to me, I always think of that way. I always think like there's a bigger plan out there. There's a bigger answer out there, and who am I to judge or to start to interpret life's bumps in the road. I'm no one to say that I know better, than anyone else. So anyway, sorry, I'll get off my soapbox now. I bid you a good day. I bid you a loving day, and take care, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.